This is KVCI.blogspot.com. I'm George Boston Rhines, and I'm over in Quitman, Georgia, in the county of Brooks. And this is the city that was established in 1859, Quitman, Georgia, Camellia City, home of Betty Sheffield. I'm here today to draw attention to the historical record of Quitman, Georgia, as well as Brooks. In May of 1918, there's a history about Quitman that very few people are talking about or discussing today. We talk about heritage, we talk about the sons and daughters and mothers and fathers of the Confederacy, but nothing is said about the week of terror that took place here in Quitman and Brooks County, as well as Lowndes County. I want to talk to you about that today. But before I go into that, I want you to understand that 10 outstanding citizens were arrested December the 21st, 2010, in Brooks County, Georgia. They have now been known as the Quitman 10+2. They were arrested for alleged voter fraud. However, very little news has gotten out about the support in their own community for them. Little information has been received or republished in South Georgia about the support that they have received from the Congressional Black Caucus, the NAACP, the SCLC, G.B.R, the People's Agenda, of which Reverend Joseph Lowry helped to create, Civil Rights Leader Tyrone Brooks, the late Senator Robert Brown, Helen Butler, traveled to Quitman, traveled to Savannah, traveled to Macon, Georgia, traveled to the Capitol in Atlanta, and other places to show their support for the Quitman 10, yet the citizens of South Georgia know little to nothing about it. Moreover, the South Georgia newspaper has repeatedly reported and showed pictures of the Quitman 10 mug shots, but they have never talked about the academic credentials of the Quitman 10. On that dreadful day of December the 21st, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, on vacation, when I received a call about what law enforcement had begun or started here in Quitman, Georgia, and Brooks County to arrest people for alleged absentee ballot fraud. The people that were arrested were Angela Bryant, April Proctor, Elizabeth Thomas, Miss Harrison, Latasha Head, Linda Trotman, Lula Smart, Nancy Dennard, Robert Dennard, and Sandra Cody. These 10 people were arrested. And it came as a shock to many people in Quitman and Valdosta because they were outstanding citizens. And so now they were indicted. The governor of the state of Georgia, Nathan Deal, removed 3 of them that were on the Brooks County School Board of Education, removed them from office. And it stated that the law says he has that right, and we're not questioning that right. But what we are questioning is why is it that it seems like the voters of Brooks County has been disenfranchised again Right now, the citizens and the taxpayers in Quitman, Brooks County, does not have representation because there are 3 seats that are vacant on the school board. And in history, we were taught that taxation without representation was tyranny. And so in South Georgia, I have been saying repeatedly that there is an apparent pattern and practice of keeping the citizens of Valdosta, Brooks County, and South Georgia ignorant. I have also been saying that I do not believe that the Quitman 10 can receive justice, not the Quitman 12, in not only Quitman and Brooks County or even Lowndes County, but in the entire Southern Circuit, because I don't know of any black judges that are on the seat in positions of authority. Now, I'm not saying that black make it right, but right always make it right. Moreover, I understand that there are black attorneys that are not happy with the makeup of the judgeship of South Georgia. But they can talk when they go to the bathroom. But they cannot talk to the media because they want to, I'm sure, preserve what they are doing in their profession. And so how would I know what is going on unless black and white right people come and tell me about what is going on in the Southern judiciary? Moreover, the district attorney and the assistant district attorney has never called for the governor to issue an executive order to stop the jail deaths over in Lowndes County Jail, just 18 miles away. When Lowndes County are leading the state of Georgia in jail deaths from 1994 to 2009, 30 human beings have lost their lives that we know about. Inmates contend that there are even more. And from 2009 until to the present date, we don't know how many deaths have occurred in the Lowndes County Jail. Lowndes County Attorney says that they are not subject to the Open Records Act. In other words, citizens in the state of Georgia do not have a right to public information in the state of Georgia. How sad that is in 2012. Now, it is my hope that the Quitman 10 will receive a fair trial wherever they are. But I also hope, it is my prayer, that the Quitman 10 actually receive a jury from among their peers. Now, what do you mean by that, Brother Rhymes? I want to see a jury that has an equal share of black African Americans, and we don't mean those black African Americans who are already what they call Uncle Toms and Aunt Marys. We know we have what they call the go-to Negroes. We don't need the go-to Negroes to be on any jury wherein people's lives are at stake, or their lives and their credibility are on the line as professionals, as the Quitman 12. Now, you may ask, George Rams, what is your concern? Why are you so involved in the Quitman 10? Why don't you just do like the pastors over in Valdosta and stay in the corners of the church, in the basement, and in the bathroom during crisis, during time of need, when the least among us need help? Why aren't you quiet? Why are you so vocal? Why do you keep cutting videos? Why do you keep doing what you do? I say to you, my beautiful American citizens, that is a good question. But you see, when I was a little boy, my grandmother, Eliza Bryant, lived over in Hickory Hill. And She told me about the lynchings of black African Americans in front of the Brooks County Courthouse, and that they would take their bodies, some of them would be castrated, take their bodies west of La Course and thrown over into Nigger Branch, that you can check by checking my videos. My grandmother told me about black men that were killed because they were going with a black woman who had a white boyfriend. She told me that as a child. And this is why I believe our young people are suffering so today, because our history is being lost. It is being distorted. It is being omitted by those in the press who refuse to report the real cutting-edge issues that affect the black African American community, the white right community, as well as the poor people of our community. Now, while we just call the Quitman 10 names, I want you to travel back with me in Brooks County in 1918. This is why I don't have much confidence in the justice system in South Georgia at all. I just don't have it. In 1918, we understand that a white plantation owner was allegedly killed. And I'm gonna omit that part, although I have that as well on my blog and YouTube. But the white mob murdered Willie Head, Willie Thompson, Hayes Turner, Eugene Thompson, 3 black bodies we understand as reported in the Crisis magazine of the NAACP back in 1918. And they did an updated publication, which I've got on my blog as well. 3 others, as I'm saying, was thrown in the Little River. Miss Mary Turner, a female, ran off Folsom Bridge, coming out of Hayhira. And a few years ago, we had a 105 vehicle caravan that journeyed to that location. But the South Georgia news media failed to even say boo. Therefore, except for my blog and my historical archival record, that history could have been lost. But I do what I do because I love you. Mary Turner was in her 8th month of pregnancy. That 8-month-old fetus was ripped from Mary Turner's womb. It fell on the ground. And it was reported that a white mob member took the heel of his boot and crushed the head of that baby. And it said that that baby gave out a couple of screams. And then it went into the other world of the unknown. The 10th victim was Shine Riley, Simon Schumann, and the 12th was Sidney Johnson. And of course, Sidney Johnson was reported as to actually admitting to the death of the white plantation owner that had mistreated him, and that too was documented. Now, I'll get into that later. Mr. Schumann was hiding out in Lowndes County, somewhere in the area of Harrington Funeral Home, I'm told, by a 92-year-old man a few years ago. A black man turned to me into law enforcement. The chief of police, we got his name. They shot the house up, and of course, they killed Mr. Johnson in that house. Mr. Johnson was armed, and he said that he would not, I repeat, he would not be taken alive. And he shot and wounded some of the policemen. Of course, he was killed. And when Mr. Johnson died, they tell me that they castrated, threw his body parts across the street, and drug him all the way up to Hayhira behind a pickup truck, we are told. And as reported in the Crisis magazine and in other papers across this nation. So we're gonna close that out now. But I just want you to know that history that few people are talking about. Joseph Lowry, Tyrone Brooks, Representative David Lucas, and others may not know about that history. So when you all come to Quitman on February the 24th, 2012, you cannot say that you do not know the rest of the story. So we're going to close this out. Then we're going to come back and tell you about the modern day unjust justice system, unjust legal system that remain in Quitman and Brooks County, Georgia. Thank you for listening. We are in Quitman, the Camellia City, and it is indeed a great place to live, but truth can make it a much, much better place to live, to raise your children, and be productive members of this society. And America is the greatest nation on the face of the earth today. And I served 20 years in the United States Armed Forces to make it better. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. And whatever you do, always stand up for what is right. Bye-bye. We gone.